I'm Dr. Jenna Scare, better known as DocJenFit. We're going to go over a basic forearm plank. And even though I say the words basic, that's what people usually think of it, but it's actually not when you build all the pieces together. So I'm going to teach you how I like to build a plank in order to actually really feel where that core can fire up like no other. Even if you're on your knees, I will get you shaking. So we're going to come down onto the ground here. And first things first, I just want you to lay on your stomach, okay? So instead of just going into a plank, starting at your feet and then kind of coming here, this is where a lot of people usually fall into trouble because they go on their feet and then try to just squeeze everything, but your back is already down and it's really hard to get any compression, or they put their hands together and are just trying to hold. And what ends up happening is I droop even more in my back, and I don't like planks anymore because my back ends up hurting. So we don't want to do that. I'm going to teach you how to get out of that back pain and really build it correctly. So we're going to come down here on your belly, and elbows are not going to be actually out in front of you, but I want you to actually tuck them underneath the shoulders even more than you would think. Here's why. If I'm out here, when I start, as I go into it, my shoulders are going to shift back. And so all of a sudden I'm putting a lot more tension through my core because I'm making it a longer lever, and maybe even more pressure through my shoulders. So again, elbows underneath you more than you would think, hands apart. Okay, when we put our hands together like this, we end up using our pecs a lot more, and not that that's bad. However, if we really want to make those shoulder blades really strong, we want to work something called the serratus anterior, which connects from the inside of the shoulder blade. It's going to wrap underneath the shoulder blade and come onto this rib cage here. And that ends up being your punching muscle. But if I can move more from my shoulder blade rather than my pec, I don't get as much tightness in the chest or rounding in the shoulder. So I wanna work this shoulder blade really strong, okay? So that's gonna be my first move. So here, so now coming back down, again, you don't want those hands to be up, so you can either put them out, which makes it a lot more challenging. You can do thumbs up to the sky, which is usually what I recommend, but if you put palms down, it still kind of draws those shoulders in together. So having those thumbs up, walking those elbows back more than you would think, that is the first step. Now, when we go into the push, a lot of people think it's a rounding of the spine. It's not actually a rounding, even though it will be in a more quote unquote flexed position. It is not necessarily that you want to round in the back here, okay? So we want to actually think, this is my sternum, and how can I keep it parallel to the ground? That's going to be the goal throughout the entire plank, is parallel. Okay, so here, press into those elbows. And now as I press into my elbows, I want to think my shoulder blades come away from the spine. So this is toward the spine, this is away from the spine. Towards the spine, away. So I want to really push away from the spine as much as possible. And then I want to keep pushing. Now I'm going to draw my rib cage up. Okay, so again, I'm not rounding, I'm pushing away, sternum parallel, and then I pull my rib cage up off the floor, and then one vertebrae at a time until I squeeze and tuck my tailbone under. It's already naturally tucked if I come into that position here. I don't have to think of coming there. So see the difference? If I just roll it up one vertebrae at a time, thinking sternum parallel to the floor, that entire time I push through my shoulder blades. Your shoulder blades should be fiery, and then you pull it up. And see, I'm already shaking myself because I'm really pushing strong through my shoulder blades. I'm keeping my sternum parallel to the ground. I'm squeezing, and my tailbone is naturally tucking under, and it makes my core work. My core has to work. It has no choice. It's being lifted off the floor here, okay? But I feel no tension in my back whatsoever. And then, and only then, if you can, you tuck those toes under, and all you're gonna do is straighten out the legs. That's it. And then all of a sudden you have the most beautiful flat plank without any booties, lifting into the sky, and you're really gonna get that max contraction around those abs. Feel those shoulders building the strength that they should be building without your hands compressed and without shoulders or pecs taking on too much pressure. So try out this plank. Let me know what you feel. Let me know if you get the shakes as you're doing it. So just comment below. Make sure to like this video so that it gets spread. Share it with your friends who do planks all the time so that they can up their game. You don't necessarily need more time. You don't need more weights. You just need better positioning, and it can change your world. So make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any future videos and keep the education going within your body. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you're enjoying it. Don't forget to like and comment below to let me know what you think, and subscribe so you don't miss any in the future.